going to start off with the first journalist question of any good journalist is, would you please say and spell your name for us?
My name is Janson Delaney, and you spell it Janson, Delaney, Delaney.
Is there a family history behind that name, Janson? Just 'cause...
Sort of. The name Janson, not particularly, but I'm one of 5 siblings, and we all have J names. So Jordan, Janson, Jade, Jude, and Julie. And so if you're a child of my parents, you have to have a J name. And you'll most likely be called the wrong J name.
That's funny because there are so many of you running around.
Yeah, I'm called like Jolie, I'm called Jude sometimes. And sometimes called, we have a dog named Josie, so there's a J too, so it doesn't help anything.
That's funny. What was it like growing up with so many siblings?
It was good. It was like a big, chaotic, amazing family that you're always busy, you're never bored, but it's been great. I'm very happy to be in a large family.
Where are you in the lineup?
I'm the second to oldest.
Second to oldest.
Yeah, so I'm the firstborn son, and so I get to inherit all the land, all the property. I tell my little brother that all the time.
Did your older sister like that?
She's getting married, so she's okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Woodworth, Louisiana, so an hour, from like 20 minutes from Alexandria, an hour from here.
And what's it like there?
It's a lot of woods, Woodworth, a lot of wood. And I grew up a country boy. I had cows, I raised them, and I went hunting all the time. And now I'm more in a city setting, which Lafayette's still pretty down to earth, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was really great growing up in the middle of nowhere.
Did y'all have a farm? You said you had cows.
Yeah, so we have cows, as my grandfather's helped with some of that, and then a seed processing company. And so we process seed and send it all over the world, and that's where we kind of did. It's kind of like farming,
Right.
in a sense.
And you worked there as a young person?
I did on and off work for my uncle, so it was really tough, hard labor, so didn't work there as much as they probably wanted, or I wanted to.
What brought you to Lafayette?
For college, yeah. I just graduated from UO Lafayette, and I'm here now full time, working for College Missions Company.
Okay.
And so.
What'd you study in college?
I studied kinesiology, actually.
Kinesiology?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so I was planning on being in physical therapy school right now, but the nonprofit my friends and I formed, it's kind of taking up all my time. That's what I'm doing full time now.
Well, tell me about that. What's the nonprofit?
So College Missions Company, I formed it, my friend and I, Hunter Mansour, when I was 21 years old. And it's basically a nonprofit to send missionaries out to the poorest of the poor in America. And right now we have missionaries that go to Gallup, New Mexico, and St. Michael's or Kotlik or Alakanook, Alaska. And so we're going to the ends of the America to reach those who suffer from alcoholism, sexual abuse, people who do not have running water and electricity, and we come as support aides to the people there to help them serve those most in need.
What gave you the idea to start a nonprofit?
So I'd been around the world doing some mission trips before, and one of my friends knew that, and she messaged me one night on Facebook. She said, "Look, I want to go on a mission trip, but if I leave America, I'm going to get kicked out. Like, my family's going to cut me for my funding," because some parents are like super controlling. And so I'd been around the world, I'd done mission trips. I was also working for the Diocese of Alexandria, so I had some connections. And then I remembered hearing that in New Mexico, there's some of the poorest people in the world live there on the Native American reservations. And so I contacted a couple people through there, through the churches, and little by little, we put together our first mission trip. And from that mission trip, it went really, really well. And we got to pray with people who were abandoned. We got to give clothing and water to those who don't have any. And from that, my friend Hunter and I were like, why don't we make this a full-time thing? Or why do we go one time to help people? If we look at our own lives, the reason why we progress is because we're continually invested through people. And we took that format and we're like, let's put that into a nonprofit till we go back to these people in these very poverty-stricken areas, and we go back year after year to help them and walk with them in their suffering. Because people walk with me and Hunter in our suffering. So we're like, let's put that into a format that can be easily accessible to college students.
That's cool.
Thank you.
How many mission trips have y'all done so far?
So 2 years ago we did 15 students, and then last year we had 4 mission trips, around 50 missionaries. So we had 2 to Alaska and 2 to New Mexico.
That's cool. And how do people get in touch with you if they want to be part of your experience?
So you can Google College Missions Company or collegemissions.net. And from there, they can contact us. And we have an open registration for next year. But we're hoping, our goal is to have 6 mission trips, 100 missionaries, and hopefully start medical missions in New Mexico. Because we have contact with an orthopedic surgeon who works in the charity hospital up there. And so that's an aid we're trying to help out with.
Do you think you'll ever go back to the physical therapy thing, or do you think your path has changed now?
I'm taking it year by year and seeing, it's just it's not weird, but it's so different, like I didn't plan this type of life. It started out as just a trip I wanted to do, and then it grew and it caught wind, and then universities from different states are contacting Hunter and I, wanting to look at what we do, because another form of our company is that we want to have the most affordable mission trips, because we want people to not have any barriers to serving. When you talk to a lot of people, like, oh, I'd go on a mission trip, but it costs $2,000. And we don't like excuses for people not helping people in need. And so our first mission trips, we started out at $300 the past 2 years. And from there, it's a lot of volunteer work. And so going back to the original question, I'm not sure. I'm taking it year by year and seeing, because it's just growing so much.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Did you have any mentors growing up?
I had plenty, yeah. Oh man, my parents were always there, very supportive of me and everything I'd done. A big mentor, I had Our Lady of Prompt Succor growing up, but I guess one that was kind of a big deal to me was Father Bryce Sibley at Our Lady of Wisdom. And what he did, is what I talked about earlier, is to continually investing in me and continually seeking that I was growing to be a man, to be a responsible man, calling me out when I did things wrong, and just being there and being present. We went hiking in Oregon and Washington earlier this summer with a group of our friends. And, it's just really good to have somebody there and present.
Do you hope that you can be that for other people one day?
Yeah, I really hope so. I hope I can be that wise. Yeah, that's really a goal of mine. Just people here have been mentors, and in the sense of just expanding to our company too, and just reaching out to whatever we need. I came here a couple of times earlier, and sometimes being a mentor can be a small thing, a small way, or it can be continually investing in a deeper way. So whatever way I'm called to, I hope it can be that way.
That's cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about you and AOC. So tell me how you first got involved with AOC.
Yeah, I was really mad. I had to pay a parking ticket one day, and I looked, and I was like, what is this place? And luckily I stumbled upon it, and I talked to Othello. He was really, really nice. Had a tour, and it's been, I talked to my board and the people I work with. I said, look, this would be a good investment for us, because we need to be more established in our community, and we need to give back to community that has helped us in so many different ways. And just having the podcast room here, having the video editing rooms, we're going to be doing a lot of shoots outside of here. It's having the availability to rent mics. Since we're a startup company, we don't have the money just to buy our own mics. We have cameras, but there's some resources or lighting. And that's how I kind of found AOC and looked into it, and just had a lot of perks that would be very important to the company.
Cool. What was your first impression when you first stopped by that day?
First impression, I was kind of just not in awe, but more of like, man, this is cool. Like, this is really, I keep on going back to the word intentional, but it's like, this is a very intentional community that's going to that invests a lot in Lafayette. I didn't think things like this existed. And yeah, I was kind of just surprised by everything that was here, this room, just being able to use for the members and the podcast room.
Have y'all been using the podcast room?
We haven't yet. That's something we want to start doing.
Cool.
Or the video editing, since we're pushing out a lot of media now, it's having the quality of like the voiceovers. And so that's something we hope to.
Nice. I know you mentioned a couple different projects, but what would be your dream project to work on?
Man, my dream project. You know, my dream project is just to see College Missions Company continue in a very organized and intentional manner. And, you know, I want to help out with other nonprofits, but I believe for the rest of my life, this is what I'm called to do. In whatever form, it's being a full-time director or being a board member in the future. We're flying to Chicago in the winter. We're looking at a mission base there to do inner city ministry, to help out in the soup kitchens and like distributing food, but also like bringing the community together. A big dream project in Chicago that I have, that in particular, is that the African American and Latino communities are pretty divided from what I've been told. And so a project I would love to have there is just bringing people of every different background, whether it's for a worship session or for like a speaker or anything, just like bring in every single different type of community, because, you know, we're all the same person. And I think that divide hopefully can be eased. So that's a big dream project I have there. And also we're flying to New York in a year and a half to go look at the Bronx and start a mission base there.
What do you think? I know it's like asking for the magic answer or whatever.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What are you thinking about bridging those divides now? What are we missing now that maybe we can look at doing in the future, or that you're looking to do in the future to bridge those divides and bring people together?
Yeah, that's a big question. So, and that it's really knowing each demographic is different. And so I've seen in Alaska, you have Eskimo people and Eskimo dances. So like taking part of their, just hit the mic, taking part of their culture and being proud and like investing in what they have. And so depending on the base, you know, like the big dream project to bring those people together in Chicago hopefully would be to like learn what their passions are. Whether it's somebody who's an artist, somebody who's a rapper, or somebody who is a painter, whoever, whatever the person is, it's just like having a community project where you can envelop and showcase those talents. Chicago is still something I'm dreaming about. Hopefully when I get there I can best answer that, but the key is just to invest in the people and see from there what they enjoy and love. And the Native Americans we minister to is like taking part of their cultural festivals and dances and being there for them.
Here. All right, what are you looking forward to most for the rest of 2017?
Rest of 2017, man, we have some really cool projects we're going to push out. And so that's going to be, like, we're hoping to have a fundraiser downtown on River Ranch. And from there, I'm hopefully bringing some artists from Alabama, I know, and from up north. And from that project, you know, I'm dreaming of 500 to 1,000 people to come. And we're going to have music. We're going to have good old Cajun, hopefully have a swing dance competition mixed in with that. And from that fundraiser, we're going to have the means and funds to send people to Chicago, to New Mexico, to Alaska. And that's my project, is to show people that, like, you know what, you can do something if you believe in it. Like, if it's something that you're truly passionate about, it's very cliche, but like, you're going to work so much harder. And I hope from that project, people can see what we've been doing in College Missions Company and to really become rooted in what we do. We already have so many people rooted in our mission statement, but like, to know that we're going to be radical in the way that we're going to serve people, and that it takes people that are passionate to go and reach people that have been abandoned and who don't know that they're loved. And my dream is that people are going to come together and be like, yes, if they want to start a project, another nonprofit, they can be inspired by this and be like, look, this is a group of college students that pulled this off, you know?
That is cool. You've mentioned dancing several times.
Yeah.
Are you a dancer? Are you into dancing?
I like to swing dance a lot,
swing
yeah.
dance.
And so I started that. I hated swing dancing when my sister told me in high school, but she said, look, if you go, there's almost no guys who know how to swing dance, and there's like all these beautiful women there, and you can dance with anyone you want. And I took root in that for very selfish reasons. And from there, I became pretty good. And I believe, it's a really cool form. Dancing is a really cool form because in the cultures we minister to, the Eskimos, we have, our missionaries have many videos of them like taking part of their cultural dances, or the Native Americans just learning about their dances. And, it's every culture has their own dance, and it's very cheesy sometimes, but it showcases the person, their passion, what they love to do. And if you take pride in what that person or culture loves, you can connect with them a lot better.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, swing dancing, man.
But have you found like a favorite new form of dance that you've encountered, or is swing dance?
No, just swing dance. I can't do anything besides that, really. Cajun dancing, that's it.
Well, that's pretty. Swing dance and Cajun dance, for that matter, I couldn't do them.
Yeah.
Are you reading anything now? Anything good?
The Pillars of the Earth, that's what I'm reading right now. It's about medieval times. I go back to when I said to my brother that I want to inherit all the land. I've always been interested in medieval culture, which is a weird thing that I've just keep on finding books about it, and just how the churches were like the center of the town, and how like everything revolved around that, and just how life was very simple back then. And so I'm reading that. I'm also reading a book about Jesuit discernment of spirits. And so that's, how do you make a decision? Like, do you base it off of emotions? Do you base it off of spiritual encounter? Like, how do we do that appropriately? And so those are kind of the books, very different books that I'm in right now.
That's cool. That's some interesting reading material.
Yeah.
You mentioned music earlier. What bands or artists would you have on your all-time favorite playlist?
Man, the revivalists out of New Orleans, they're becoming really, really big. Just it's like Dave Matthews, the Chili Peppers, and all of them came together and formed a band. I don't know if that does them justice, but they just have so much spunk. They have a 7-person band, so much character, and I'm really proud of the Louisiana band is making it very big. The next would be the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I'm seeing next weekend at ACL. After that would be Dave Matthews, like I mentioned. And from there, Trombone Shorty came here a couple years ago. He was fantastic. And my next, I can't really think from the top of my head right now.
That's a pretty good list so far.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a police officer at first because you get free food at places. And so was like, I can go to Sonic and get free food. That was my first vision. But from there, I've thought of everything from being a doctor, physical therapist, never thought about being a lawyer, and also a business owner one day. And those I've dabbled in about everything,
That's cool. Who were your heroes when you were a child?
My hero. I had many, I believe, let me think about that for a second. I'll make a good answer. Yeah. One of my heroes was like Joseph Summers. He's the director of Family Missions Company. Kind of the root of why I do what I do, because he just preached that, we need to be bold in how we love, and how we need to be bold because for the poor, and how Christ sends us to those who are not loved and who need, just intentional friendships. And so, yeah, he really inspired me to dream big, because he's been all over the world. He's been to the slums of India, and to see a man give of himself that much, and see a man that's like selfishly like laid down so much of his life for the betterment of others, and to call others to a radical way of life and to abandoning our comfort, because there's so many who live in uncomfort and so many people that, you know, are just trying to make it each day. And he really like taught me that to be a man, you have to sometimes put down your will for the will of others and for the betterment of others. And that's really stuck with me.
You can tell that's
Thanks.
All right, let's do some like modern job interview questions.
Okay, sure.
So what's your superpower?
My superpower that I love to dream. I can cast a vision, but I can also back it up with very like concrete goals and what I want to do, and very specific goals. And from there, there's a difference between dreaming and practical ideas, and I like to believe that my dreams can become a reality.
That's really cool, because I think that's something that we all want to do, right? Is like realize our dreams. Do you have any advice for the rest of us who maybe are having trouble getting from dreams to reality?
Dreams to reality, that you have to know that day by day, you have to like impose your will. And what I mean by imposing your will, I heard that from a motivational speaker called Janson. And he's just saying that if you believe in something, you know, you have to be excited every day that you can work on that project. If you're not excited to work on that project, obviously it's not a dream of yours. And, you know, to really persevere through people, you know, not necessarily backing you on your idea, but also to take from those that you're going to have critics no matter where you come from. And sometimes they can come from a good place, and you can shape your dream into become a more practical dream.
That's awesome. All right, what is your spirit animal and why?
My spirit animal is a pug.
A pug, you say?
Yeah, a pug.
Why
My friends would laugh if they heard that. Yeah, I had 3 pugs growing up, and they're just a weird dog that's very loyal. And when I got to college, you know, I told a couple of people I like pugs, and then my mom like constantly gives me pug gifts. And so people come to my house like, I'm not gonna throw away the gifts my mom gave me. And I had to tone it down with her. But people like caught on to it, and they just always would tag me on videos on Facebook of a pug. So like every day I'd look on Facebook and somebody's tagging me in a video. So I kind of like stopped bringing up that I liked pugs, because for some reason Janson plus pugs is like a comedic relief for people, which is a good thing. But it's also like, it's getting a little weird. If you look at my Facebook timeline, it's like 10 pug videos. And I'm not lying, I've seen that people do that.
Do you have a pug now?
I don't. I wish. I live in an apartment.
Well,
But one day I'm gonna get a pug again.
pugs are fun dogs. I like pugs. What's the one thing about you that few people know?
One thing about me that few people know, man, I love to beatbox. That's always been something that I've always just liked. I'm not the best at it, but I like just watch videos of people beatboxing, and it just comes to a form of music that it's a very niche group, and those people are very passionate in what they do, and it's absolutely incredible how much time they put into it and how it's evolved over the years. Coming back from Rozelle, like I like old school rap, and Rozelle was like one of the first old school rappers, and like he invented beatboxing per se, and how that's like culturally developed to go into Europe, and how you can look at different countries, and it's just different from each country and how they beatbox, and that's like a weird like side hobby of mine that I love.
Can I put you on the spot? Would you beatbox?
Not right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Appreciate
it. How would you like to be remembered?
How I like to be remembered? Man, that's a question that you have to. You don't want to be selfish about it. You don't. How I like to be remembered? I like to be remembered like my grandfather. My grandfather, it's just every person that meets him, they're not like falling over, like complimenting about him, but they're always just like, man, he's a solid person. And his actions speak for himself. He founded a company, didn't get paid for 7 years, has now employed many people, He's the president of every older person club that you can imagine. And how he leads, it's a form of leadership that's just real. He doesn't have to go and impress people with his words. He doesn't have to go and impress people in like these very shallow ways. He's just very present to every person he meets. He listens to them. And from there, it's a really real way of leadership. It's nothing fantasized or over promoted. And I believe that if I took that as a man, that more men took that, or even women, and that sometimes leadership comes from just being there for somebody or advising them in a very practical way. I would like to be remembered like my grandfather.
Cool. All right, one more question for
Yeah.
you. Sometimes it's tough, so if you got to pass, I understand, but can you describe yourself in 3 words?
A calm, optimistic dreamer.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I like that. Janson, thanks so much.
Yeah, I
It was
appreciate
a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so
today.
much. I really appreciate everything.
Yes.
You can sit down back down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.